In September 2005, Lewis Stevenson made his Hibs debut, kick-starting a legendary career. In the 19 years that followed, Lewy wrote his name into the club's history books, winning both the League Cup and the Scottish Cup, becoming the only ever player to win both trophies whilst at the club. Many more milestones have been ticked off along the way, and as he approaches his 600th game for the Hibernians, we took a look back at Lewy's iconic career. Well, Lewis, back where it all began, can you just explain a little bit about where we are today?
So this is the house I was brought up in Kirkcaldy. Lived here till I was about 10 or 11 and moved quite far across the road. So I like fond memories. I had the best childhood ever. I'm sure everyone says that, but I absolutely loved it. I used to come home from school, chuck in your school bag and then go and play football at a park over there. So it was good. Made some friends that, you know, still kept in touch with, friends you've lost touch as well. But amazing memories in that house, and then good ones when I finally moved over the road.
So just explain a little bit about who was it in that house for you? Obviously your mum and dad.
So my mum and dad, and I've got two wee brothers, a wee bit younger, 5 years and 7 years younger. So I've played mostly with boys in the street who've lived in various different houses down the road and stuff as well. So I loved my childhood, and had fond memories being here.
You were the oldest of the three then. What was it like looking after two young ones?
I said they're a wee bit younger, so I couldn't even fight with them. It was almost too much a liberty to fight with them. They were into football and stuff as well. I did feel a bit bad because obviously my football kind of took control, so I felt they kind of got dragged a bit a wee bit. Mum and dad make big sacrifices for you to do what you love doing, and probably not told them that you actually appreciate it at the time. But being a father now and going through the same with my kids, it's a lot of work for them. Yeah,
and then so did you move from this house into that one just across the road? Did you talk about What was the thinking behind that? Do you know?
Carried the bed over. I don't know. It was just a bit bigger house and stuff, and I didn't really want to move. My brothers didn't want to move areas and stuff, so believe it or not, we loved it.
Yeah, I imagine that was quite a strange one. When you think about people moving house, it's more like, they're moving somewhere far away.
My mum and dad didn't want me changing school and stuff. I think I was in that stage where I was going from primary school to high school as well, so it was a awkward time. So that house came up. We actually knew the people that lived there, so it was all seemed to go pretty smooth. I was just a kid, maybe but it was. It was good, perfect.
So you didn't play football in that garden? You mentioned a park that we moved over to.
There's a park that we're going to go and see shortly, hopefully. There's little grassy bits dotted over. This is kind of like the middle of Kirkcaldy. There's not actually that much big grassy spaces. It's the city centre, you could say. Loads of different things. You would, not just football, but just like any other kids, what you would do.
Yeah. Well, you've been big up this park, so let's go see it. So this is the infamous park where it all began for you then?
This was the main one. There's another couple ones dotted about, but this was like the main hub where my street, the streets over there would all meet, and we'd play five-a-side for some reason. It seems a lot smaller the bigger you get. But, it used to be grass. They've upgraded it to this ashy stuff. I don't know if it's any better. But some fond memories here. That's like those painted goals were the old goals we used to use.
So none of this.
Nah, this metal bit wasn't here. It was
wasn't there,
that goal painted at the back was there. I still don't think I could touch the bar, so I don't know how I was ever there.
Well, can you touch the bar now?
Nah, I don't. I know what to try it on the hanging. Really fun memories. You had to kind of dodge the dog poo as well, which was loads of it on the pitch, but it seems to be a lot cleaner than it was before.
Who did you play with down here then?
Loads of boys. There was all different age groups as well. I was probably one of the youngest, but there was probably about 9 or 10 of us. And you'd get special guests for different people coming, or somebody else's pal's house. So it was brilliant.
Does it feel weird?
Pretty nostalgic coming back actually, and remembering, visualising everyone being here. But
I was going to say, does it feel weird coming back, or?
It does. As I said, it feels a lot smaller. But we just spent hours here. As I said, you just come home from school, drop your bag in, and that was you till you got shouted on for your dinner. it just seems like every summer, it seems like the sun was shining. It feels like you're outside all the time. Seems a lot different. I brought the kids back and they were like, is this where you used to play football? Now they're used to like AstroTurfs and stuff like that, but some very fond memories being here.
Was it here then that you realised, or when did you realise that you had a talent for football? Like, were you better than all your mates that you're playing with?
Look, because they were older, it was probably, I don't know, I didn't think I was much better than anyone else. It's probably until I went to like maybe boys club and then started getting picked for things like area selects and stuff like that. You think, oh, maybe I'm half decent, but no, I was always pretty grounded. I don't think you could be too carried away with yourself, or them few of the older boys would knock you back down to earth.
School nearby here, I take it everything here in Kirkcaldy, seems quite connected.
I went to Donaghue Primary School, which is about a 2-minute walk up the road, and then went to Lewy High School, which is a wee bit further away. But
did you try any other sports other than football? Or were you
I dipped in and out of things, Evan, but it was 99% football. My dad used to try and get me. He actually took me for golf for a wee bit, and then took me a couple of weeks to play tennis or badminton. But it was always go back to football.
You're not any good at golf?
Nah, I was going to try and glide. I was alright, but I was never good enough. Didn't enjoy it.
So Lewy, tell us where we are now.
This is, I think it's called Memorial Park. It's where I played my boys club football at Thornton Colts. It was a team connected to Thornton Hibs actually, whose main pitch is up there. Well, I played here when I was 9 or 10 years old, and it was straight to 11-a-side. I remember my first game, we played against a team called Recycle, really good, and we got to be like 18-1 or something, so it was a good start to my football career. But now we actually had a successful team. We've done really well, like the Fife area and stuff, and won a lot of cups and some great memories here with like friends and stuff that year.
How did you get into playing for this club?
It was a boy in my class called Stuart Love. He was really good at football, and he came here for a year or something and said, look, we're actually needing more players. They brought me up, and then the rest is history. I was here for about 5 or 6 years. Played like a year above for a few years, and then when I played with like my own age, that was fine. I probably kind of kicked on, but no, we had a really good team, some really good players that played for like different teams and progressed as well. So it was a good time, some fun memories. I can't remember the hill being this big, but
it looks like it goes down and then up again. And then
so you need to get a few goals ahead in this half and then a wee bit stricter. But the pavilion's over there, but I spent a lot of time up here, and it's nice to be back.
When you lost that first game 18-1, were you thinking this isn't for me, or?
I just remember it was 11-a-side as well. I was just taking through. I actually played left back. It's probably one of the only games I played left back for boys club, but I just remember taking like 50 throw-ins the game. That's all the things, is boys just kicking it, smashing it, boys hitting shots with the guy with the biggest kick, just because the goalies were tiny. So it's strange. The football for kids is so much better now. They play like 4-a-side, 5-a-side, and it's a lot better. But proper baptism of fire playing 11-a-side at 9-year-old.
So you're left back that game. Where did you normally play position-wise?
I think I moved up. I played like centre mid most of my boys club career. It's funny, I think if you ask most players that play professional, they were probably centre mids at some point. It's probably where you get you usually try and put the better kind of players in boys club in centre midfield, and I'm sure everyone's had a bit of a spell there, but as I said, there was really good players on my team, and I don't think I really stood out till I was about 11 or 12 maybe, and I moved to St Johnstone from there.
How did that move to St Johnstone then come about?
It was actually, I don't know if it was the same in Edinburgh, it was like a scout who was also a referee, so he used to referee games, but he was a scout for St Johnstone and maybe Dunfermline as well. But I went up to St Johnstone. I think there was 3 of us from Thornton Colts that went, and was there for about 2 or 3 years, and then moved to Hibs after that. And
who was it at Hibs then that kind of made that initial contact?
It was actually a coach, well, my coach at St Johnstone, Lewis Stevenson. We had like a match against the Hibs team of my age group, and then they picked the best players from both teams, and I managed to stick around, so it was good. So moving from here up, then playing in Perth and then playing in Edinburgh, it was a nice experience. But you still kind of see the same players that were good at boys club would still be good. And then we had some good runs in the Scottish Cup here. We played like Hearts Boys Club were good at my age. There's a Leith Athletic team that were good at my age. So you get the big trip over to the big smoke in Edinburgh. That was the big games.
And as a parent now, seeing your eldest Lewy going through that kind of like transition of playing youth football, do you got any kind of advice for him, or do you put yourself in his shoes?
Nah, I try and step it. To be fair to my dad as well, he was never pushy. Even if I was playing well, he wouldn't praise me too much, or if I wasn't having a good game, he was pretty relaxed about it. I see parents these days that are all over their kid, and it's almost like too much pressure, and they almost want it for themselves. So I do try and stay out of it as much as I can with as little pointers I can give him. Then I'll try and do that. I lived in Fife for a bit, lived in Edinburgh for a bit, so I've had various different car skills.
So, go on, who are some of the names in that then?
No real big names. My first car skill I probably had was Liam Miller. I think he didn't have a driving licence at the time, and when I was living in Edinburgh, I'd pick him up in town, then drive him in, so that was my first, so it was a big name.
Did you get nervous driving like older players around?
I did a wee bit, but you get used to it after.
That's how I feel driving you around.
Oh yeah. I was never part of the Wenger bus. Glasgow boys had a Wenger bus for the while.
Is that the one that got?
James McPeak. Nah, there was one that they actually bought.
Oh really?
5 boys for Glasgow bought this thing, they called it the Wenger bus, had their own Twitter page and stuff. I never quite made the cut to get in that.
So who was in that?
It was like James McPeak, Paul Kearney, Paul Heffernan. There's round about that Pat Benlin? Pat Benlin. Pat Benlin.
So have you never been into
cars,
like, or?
Just probably never had enough money to buy a decent one.
Buy a ridiculous one.
I had family quite early, and so I always needed someone that I could get the kids on.
Transport them about in, yeah.
Until I get that big bumper move, I'm holding out for, then I'll treat myself a nice car.
Have you ever had offers to leave Hibs, or did that ever kind of cross your mind?
Nah, nothing that really tickled my fancy, or nothing that was worthwhile for Hibs really. We've always probably been a good fit for each other.
Yeah.
See, to be honest, for most of my career, I've probably signed as a backup left back or just a squad player.
Yeah.
And I just kind of happen to wangle my way to the team for most of the time. So
you're saying that you've wangled your way to 600 appearances?
Nearly. But now when I got to a certain stage, I didn't really want to leave for anything. There had to be some magnificent offer for somewhere that really changed it.
So from Thornton to St Johnstone, then to Hibs, how buzzing were you to get that move to Hibs over the line?
It was amazing. It's obviously one of the biggest clubs in Scotland, and when I got that chance to sign here from St Johnstone, it was something I couldn't turn down. A bit more travelling for my mum and dad, but as I said before, they made a lot of sacrifices and they were happy to do it again for me. What
was it like playing here at Easter Road for the first time? Obviously you made your debut was against Ayr United, but what was it like playing here?
Do you know what, I actually can't remember my first game on that pitch. I think it might have been like an Intertoto Cup game or something with Tony and Mowbray. But like the stadium's obviously changed so much over the years. The hospitality is obviously different. The pitch is a lot better than what it used to be. That stand's totally different. But this used to be like the hub. We'd come here for training days, so we'd get the train for Kirkcaldy to Waverley, walk down. We'd meet here and like, right, we're going to Pinkie or we're going to Wardy to train the day. So now it's always just used for match day, so it does feel a bit more special. You're here, you know it's going to be a game day. So it's changed so much for when I first came.
So, as you mentioned, you were obviously here before they got the HCC, the training ground, and was it a case of simply turn up here and then find out where you're training that day?
We didn't know. We'd turn up on the day, find out where we were training. You'd all jump in your cars, or we'd have a wee minibus that Gav would drive, and then come back here, clean the stadium, do your duties, and then back up to Waverley and the train home and start over. So it was a great experience. It was fun. It was enjoyable. Like, it's just mad how much things have changed for the facilities now. We didn't have a gym. I think we had some punch bags up one behind one of the stands, but it was like press ups, sit ups, planks. That was as high as we got. We used to do piggybacks on the pitch and stuff like that. So that's definitely a department that's changed a lot.
We're outside the stadium then in HCC. Where was your kind of weirdest and wackiest place that you'd train?
We used to love it when it was snowing and we couldn't get in any public parks. We'd go to World of Soccer, so it was indoor, and it was like a Royal Rumble, a 7-a-side match. It was brilliant. So that was probably the most enjoyable. But nah, like, you'd go to all these public parks and be again dodging dog poo, which are a good length for Glebe Park. So I was used to that. So it was fine. But nah, it was good times. I had a great changing with some young boys and like that I still keep in touch with today. So nah, it was good.
In terms of them, when you must have run out here to play for Hibs 300 odd times here at Easter Road, do you still get that kind of same special feeling of excitement running out onto the pitch, or how has it kind of changed as your career has moved on?
Look, there was times where it was that hard. It was like a proper pressure cooker. It was hard to enjoy it because there was so much pressure on us, and especially when you're not doing so well. But the older I've got, I try to enjoy it a lot more, and you know, you never know when it's going to be your last game, so you need to cherish these moments. And it's a magnificent stadium, an unbelievable place to play in, and when the fans are behind you, it's no better place to win.
So Lou, you've been here, well, essentially including your time at the academy, over 20 years now. In that time you've had a few haircuts, to say the least. I'm going to give you this and you can flick through some of them, and I want you to talk me through them. This is, I think, your first...
That was the bird kick on the head stage where everyone was going for. I don't know what that was. Looks a bit gingery as well. Could do a bit more meat on my legs as well. I'm sure that was the time we used to put the cap on the head and like flick the... You're maybe too young to remember it, but you bleached the hair, but it doesn't look great there.
Your mum was saying yesterday that it was her that bleached your hair.
So she says, but I think I had a few friends, my girlfriend maybe done it at the time, but I think that was my debut. Was that my debut in Ireland? No, I remember that game. I went. I think it was 2 weeks after I'd been away with like my school friends in Magaluf, and then 2 weeks in, 2 weeks after that, I was away with the first team on a pre-season tour to Ireland. So thrown in at the deep end, but a magnificent experience. And you know, I thought it would have took me 2 or 3 years to get anywhere near the first team, but 2 weeks I was lucky. Murph got injured, and Tony Mowbray showed faith in me and took me along, so it was a good experience.
There you go. There's a...
That's proper gingery hair. I think that was kind of the same haircut I had with the League Cup final as well. Justin Bieber kind of stage.
And that's a Scotland under 18s, is it?
I don't know what it'd be, but no, I was lucky enough to represent my country at a few different age groups. So
were you always growing up, always quite involved with in the Scotland setups?
Played in the Victory Shield, which was like the youngest you could kind of get involved in at 15 maybe, when I was still at high school. Got to play against England at Hampden. Dave Gray was actually a striker, playing in the same Scotland team at that time.
Oh, was he?
So, it was mad. It was, you know, for all that team as well, there's probably 3 or 4 that kind of went on to make a career, so I was very, very lucky to do that. England had Fraser Foster, Mika Richards and stuff playing for them as well, so that was an amazing experience, and luckily in my career I got to go to Hampden a few more times after that. That was when, I think it was like some...
It's a kit shoot, wasn't it?
Hometown home kit thing. They were supposed to go to Morocco for Benji and Zamama, but they ran over budget, so the poor media team got a trip to Kirkcaldy instead, and that was trying to make it look best. It's not quite the same type of beaches you would have got in Morocco, but never actually. That was the first time I'd ever been doing that bit, because I don't think anyone really goes down the beach. And
you've done a few kind of like promo shoots and press calls and media calls over the year. Did you like doing that side of things in your career, like the photos, the media, all that stuff?
Honestly, I absolutely hated it. I've probably got a bit better at it over time, but it was so awkward, man. You get used to it, and I think I've got a bit better over time dealing with it.
But this was another one that you had to do.
That was when we were playing Barcelona at Murrayfield, but that was Andrews, and I was a boy I went to school with. He played rugby for like Edinburgh and Scotland and stuff, and the media guy, Dynamite, used to work with Edinburgh Rugby, so he wanted to do something. So that's actually a no bad one. There's another one where he's got me on his back, carrying me about the pitch, which was even worse.
So yeah, you're talking about Scotland.
Skipped a few years in between.
This is a classic Lewis Stevenson haircut, but also obviously a proud moment for you playing for Scotland, your first international senior cap?
First and only one. But it was no, it was mad how it came about. It was near the end of the season. The season we'd done pretty well. We were actually close to second, but we ended up finishing fourth, I think. But I had a phone call for Alex McLeish and another guy, and I genuinely thought it was a prank. I had a decent season. Hibs had a good season as well. But there's a few injuries in the Scotland squad, and he phoned me to ask me to go. But I was supposed to go to Florida with the family, and the wife was genuinely saying like, "Well, you're going to have to say you can't go because we're going to Florida." I was like, "I don't know if it really works like that. I'll never get this opportunity again." So we actually came to agreement, and the coaching staff and Alex McLeish especially was brilliant. He said, "Look, why don't you just come play one game, and then you can go meet your family after."
Oh, really?
So I missed a wee bit of the holiday, but
So was that camp then? Was there multiple?
It was a camp. It was Peru and Mexico, so kind of that side of the world as well. So
Yeah.
it did work out pretty well. But look, I loved the family, the holiday with the family after it. But I still, part of me thinks I could have stayed and got involved in the Mexico, and I wouldn't have been a one cap wonder. I got 2 caps under my belt, and it would have been. But look, it was something. I never, probably when I got to like 25, 26, I thought that it had passed. Scotland was, left back was a position that they had plenty of talent, so I never really expected to play. So to get it so late in my career was amazing.
This is the same haircut, but it was after your 250th appearance.
I probably look better now. I think I've aged pretty well. I look terrible then. I don't think the kit, the training kit, or the actual strip really helps, to be honest.
Not done you any favourites.
Nah.
When you got to, obviously we've kind of spoken a lot about different milestones that you've been on.
Jesus.
So the difference in these two photos here, it's the same haircut. They're taken a day apart.
Oh, really?
And so that was Celebrate 250, and that was your 251st against Rangers, scoring that goal at Ibrox. Would you say that's the best goal you've ever scored for Hibs?
Probably. It wasn't just the finish, but I think the whole build-up. I think it was a Rangers corner. Ox has caught it and we've played out for the back. Just came up the left, and the full move was pretty good. It always gets cut, and you just see me slicing the ball in the net. But that was a good move all round and a good team goal. And I think we won 2-1, so it was 2-1. Was it 2-0?
2-0, I think.
So an important goal.
Talk to the celebration.
Just a bit shocked that I'd scored, to be honest. But no, we had a good team that year. I think we had a decent record against Rangers as well, especially at Ibrox. So it was a good hunting ground for us that season.
This is obviously the promotion back to the Premiership. So
it was an important time. It was obviously a long time coming. We had tough spells in the Championship. It was actually an enjoyable time in periods because we were winning a lot of games, and it was tough with Hearts, Rangers, then Dundee United in the league. But we got the job done. It was a strange kind of day. We obviously won the league, but the gaffer Lenny at the time was raging us how we performed that day, and it was a kind of bittersweet. He actually told us he wasn't going to come out for the trophy after the game, and 10 minutes later he came out. So a few boys got slagged for it after first lifting him up, doing hey after what he said. But he was a proper winner and wanted us to win every game.
What was your relationship like with Lenny? Because he was the manager that in your whole Hibs career you played most games under.
No, it was almost like a father figure, like a love-hate at times. Probably went both ways as well. So no, I loved it. It was a proper roller coaster. Training was fun, but it was really hard work. He just wanted to win every game. We'd go to Parkhead, we'd go to Rangers, and if we didn't win, he wouldn't be happy. Which, I think, it was an exciting time as well. I speak to a lot of fans, and they loved that time because he used to say before every game he wanted to see a shot within 2 minutes. So it kind of sets the stall out, it gets the fans on your back and behind you, and on your back. There's other ways they can do that here, but not like that. But no, I still see him, I still speak to him. He still speaks to my wife and stuff as well, and he's always asking for the family. So, no, a great man, a great manager. And
this is a testimonial.
Mad seeing how young the kids were then. That was another one where Lennon was the manager at the time. He just came in. Can't remember those boots. I don't know, quite nice. But it was a proper game. It was like a friendly, but the game was actually really good. There was tackles flying. I remember somebody smashed me after 10 minutes. And again, for that whole season, whenever I didn't play well, Lenny was like walking around like it's your testimonial. Like you're gonna please let that go. But it was a proper good game. I think was it 2-2 or something, or 2. I can't remember. But it was a genuinely good game. And, a lot of Hibs fans turned out. not to support me, but to support the team as well. And it was something I never really wanted to do, was take the option of the testimonial. But
Why?
a few people I don't know, the whole spotlight, and I tried to tail it down. I had a game in a night. Maybe now my career's came to an end, I wish I'd milked it a bit more, but nah, it was like, I don't know, just the timing, things had happened and stuff, but no, I'm glad I'd done it, and a great turnout, and the fans showing their appreciation for me that day was something I'll never forget.
This photo is taken in kind of COVID times. What was that like to play in? Is that a COVID haircut as well? Who was doing your haircut in COVID?
I don't know, actually, that's a good point. It was a strange time. It was like, it's strange for everyone, not just in football, but just to play in the stadium with no fans, and the football seemed different. It was a lot slower, and I don't know, there wasn't as much. Like, honestly, some of the games we'd go 1-0 up and just boot the ball as far as we could, and you'd have no pressure having to actually play, or you could kick the ball in the stand. It would take ages. It was strange, but the boys done really well that year. I think we finished third that year. It was strange, and I just wish the fans were there to see it and stuff. And I did feel for like Jack Ross and the new player, because I know if the fans were here, the season would have been, the place would have been absolutely rocking that season. And
then just finally, then, this is obviously 450 league appearance, becoming the all-time Hibs appearance record in the league. Another milestone to tick off.
Aye. I didn't think the manager Lee Johnson at the time knew, so it was nice to do a wee presentation after the game and stuff. And again, I was kind of in and out with Lee Johnson, but it was always a respectful relationship, and tried my best for him whenever I got the chance. And I think it took me a bit of time to get in the team, but I ended up doing pretty well for him that season as well. So I see it, especially when you get to an older stage, you know, a manager comes in and thinking, I really need to freshen up the squad. These old guys have been hanging about for ages, but I think if you're still performing, it takes a bit of time, but they see what you do, and when they need a result or something, they know they can rely on you. How's my current haircut compared to all of others?
Getting a few bits of grey in it.
That's silver. I've done that on purpose. That's all right. I'm 36. Is that right?
So from haircuts to history, Lewy, you're the only ever Hibs player to win both the Scottish Cup and the Scottish League Cup. Let's take a look back at some of those memories, starting with the Scottish League Cup way back in 2007. You were only 19 years old at the time. Did you think winning trophies was easy?
I was probably blasé at the time, thinking this football mark was alright. It seemed pretty easy. Kind of learned the hard way, and it was a long struggle after that. But no, looking back and just seeing the ball slapping off the captain's head going in for a goal was, I've got a lot of fond memories of that. But we had a really good team. I didn't realise it at the time, but looking back at some of the players we had, and a real strong team, and players that went to kick on and played internationally and played for some big teams.
Were you nervous going to the final, excited? What was the kind of emotions?
I was proper nervous, a different kind of nervous now. I hadn't played that many games. I think I played in a few games in the run up towards the game, but it's a strange kind of feeling. I didn't expect to play. I got the nod the night before the game saying I was going to play, and then the rest history, I suppose. I played pretty well that day, but so did our team.
What did the manager say to you the night before then? Because you were playing left mid, weren't you?
Playing like left centre mid or left mid or three. I just said they wanted my energy, wanted me to show composure on the ball, it's just a blur, to be honest. I don't remember much of the game at all. I've never actually watched it all back. It was all pretty hectic. I don't think we played well in the first half, and then the second half, we kicked on and done really well.
Why have you never watched it all back?
I don't know. I've never really been one for that. It's probably something I've done a bit more now, kind of analysing my performance and stuff. But some haircut that one. See it now. I don't know. I never watched myself. I hate the way I play and stuff like that. Pure many Hibs fans hate watching me. It's the same kind of thing. Some unbelievable players in that team, and magnificent to be part of it. I never thought winning that cup that I would go on to be at this stage the only player to win the two cups with the club.
During the game then, when did you kind of feel confident that you were going to go on to win a game? Because it ended up winning 5-1 and it looks convincing.
I don't know, I think when they scored it 3-1 and then when we got the fourth to go 4-1, I think that was kind of, the energy kind of kicked out of them and we knew that was party time, so to speak. But as a Hibs player or fan, you know you're never safe, so I don't think I ever felt safe to the final whistle went, to be honest.
Obviously you're only 19 years old at the time, but in terms of the party after, you mentioned party time, what was that like?
It was different for the Scottish Cup. We went straight on the bus after the game. I think we done like a thing at the City Chambers. So the bus parade was at night, and we went back to the stadium and like done a lap at the stadium and stuff. So, unbelievable. I'd say I probably took it a bit too much for granted. Probably enjoyed that night a bit too much and can't remember too much, which it's not great at 19 years old, to be honest. I think the gaffer was very happy with me for that, but it's obviously like kind of the middle of the season as well, so it was an emotional day. I think the gaffer, when we lost his dad pretty recently to it, so it was emotional for him. He wasn't that long into the job, and it was an unbelievable day and something that I'll cherish forever. It's nice looking back. As I said, I've not really looked back in it, so I can't remember too much.
Yeah, you mentioned some of the players in that team. It was star-studded, wasn't it? You got Rob Jones, Scott Brown there, obviously Boozy. There's some players that went on to do great things in the game.
Look, a lot of those players would probably be in my Hibs best 11. That shows how long ago it was as well. But some top players and top people as well. I know there was a bit of stuff going on off the park at that time, but some fond memories. That's when I first came. I think I was only in the first team for a year or a year and a half.
Is that you hanging on the corner there?
Hanging on the edge, trying to squeeze my way in the photo. But
so this is what you're talking about?
This was straight after. This was straight after the game. We went on the bus, so.
You can tell by your tie that you're already well on.
Do you know what? I don't think I was there. Probably one bottle of beer. That was probably enough for me at 19. But I had a different setup for the Scottish Cup. But luckily we took photos because it's been that long. I can hardly remember it.
And of course, player of the match in the final. Is that something that you could only really have dreamt of, thinking back to the night before when you get the call that you're going to be in the team?
Look, I probably think I was just do right, try and stay on at half time and then after that. But like, I still think that there's probably other players that were better on the pitch. Maybe my age kind of helped me get man of the match that day. I played pretty well, but if you scored 2 goals in a cup final, you probably want to get man of the match.
Mm-hmm. So this was the League Cup. We'll move on to the Scottish Cup. 4 finals later and 9 years later, it takes us to Scottish Cup final against Rangers, and couldn't have asked for a better start in this one.
It was probably something that we wanted to do was start quick, get the fans on our side and quieten them, and we got off to a great start. We never gave up at all, even after this, which could have been a sucker blow, a great strike to be fair. You're kind of thinking same old Hibs at that point, but no, we showed great resolve, some great set pieces, great header, and I think we had a fair belief, the whole team throughout the squad, that we could do it that day.
It's Liam Henderson to deliver.
Still feels like a bit of a dream watching it, to be honest.
Where were you on the pitch?
I was back at the park, so by the time I went over the celebrations, it was time to run back. I think I was that tired as well. I barely got to the end, but I remember the last 2 or 3 minutes after that, my legs felt like an outer body experience. Didn't feel like it was me playing. I was just caught up in the emotion and the euphoria of it all, and I think I've cried so much in my life after that.
Mm-hmm.
A moment in time, a moment in
Still
history.
awkward as ever. So I did.
Lost. Hibs have won the Scottish Cup. It is glory, glory to the Hibernians.
So going back then to before, and even almost the run to the final, when you're coming into the final, how do the nerves compare from when you back in 2007 to this one here?
I felt a lot more nervous, a different type of nerves. I think just the way the season had went, we had missed out on the playoffs. I think the week before, we got beat by Ross County in the League Cup final. Yeah. So for us not to come away with anything that scene would have been a travesty, because you could see the players we had with an unbelievable team and so close to a lot of things that season. So being the pessimist, I was thinking, especially at 2-1, here we go again. But the boys showed great resolve, and unbelievable day, not just in my football career but in my life.
When you get back to 2-2, are you thinking this is now our time? Because you've obviously been there before in finals.
I didn't think we would have enough time before the end of the game to get a goal, but I thought it might have been an extra time, and I was actually dreading thinking about penalties as well. So just unbelievable for the captain to score nearly the last kick of the ball. Couldn't have picked any better way to do it.
You said it was like an out-of-body experience, the last kind of 90 plus 2 onwards. Can you try and put into words what that was like from when the ball went in to trying to then see out the game to the celebrations afterwards?
I probably just felt like any other Hibs fan at that moment. You just couldn't believe what was happening, because of the way the season has went. I knew how close we were, but I don't think you can really trust anything until it actually happens, and there's no better feeling when that final whistle went and we finally got our hands on the cup. I always remember Taff, who was one of the coaches at the time, told me and fought to go up second and third because we'd been there for so long. But at the time I didn't think anything of it, but it was obviously to be close to the cup when it's getting lifted.
And to be next to when it got lifted.
It was nice, and that's something I'll always cherish for him, saying those small words that made me do it.
You mentioned it was a special day for you, but also for your family as well. One of the best days of your life.
They'd seen a lot of the heartache and stuff before. I remember somebody seeing that photo and thought it was one of the cup finals we got beat, but it was actually just that disbelief of couldn't believe that we'd actually won it.
I'm not sure if it's on this, but there's another photo that is one of you and Lewy, your son, almost taken.
He was standing up behind where the cup got lifted, just for the family sitting. Like, I think they feel the emotions as much as the players at times. They'd been through the heartache with us as well, so that was a nice moment for them, and just like a weight off everyone's shoulders.
What ages were the kids then at that time? Did they know what was going on?
I think it was just Lewy. I don't know if Luna was. No, she would have been born. She would have been 1.5. Lewy would have been about 4. 4 maybe. So still pretty young, but he says he can still remember it.
Still hanging on the side of the
Still hanging on, just squeezing it, getting in there.
But that was some team, wasn't it?
It was good. Even I don't know, I just think this morning, but even the strip and everything, I thought it was really classy, and the white shorts, the white socks as well, I think it's amazing. I actually don't know where my strip is, to be honest. I know the boys cherish it with their memories, with their medals and everything, so I really need to look at all it one day and hopefully I've still got it and kept it in good nick.
You're not sentimental then with some of your stuff?
No, I do. I just didn't flaunt it too much, especially in the house. But I'm sure when the kids move out one day, I'll get it up one day if Mrs. lets me put it up on the wall. I've always been working on the biceps that year as well. It looked bad, didn't it? It was a great group of boys, even coming in that there, and it was an unbelievable dressing room, and I think through all the tough times we went through that season, it does make a difference, lifting the cup with your pals. Whenever we see the boys, we always talk about it and stuff, and I'm sure we'll be getting filled out in years to come and talking about it again.
The other thing I was actually going to mention was the parade and the bus parade. So that was then the day after, coming down Leith Walk, and that hundreds of thousands of Hibs there. What was that like?
It's going up every time. It was I obviously tasted it with the League Cup, but this was a whole different level. I think we went to the chambers as well in the morning, but it wasn't until we got to the top of Leith Walk looking down. It's unbelievable. Words can't describe how this feels then, and seeing the euphoria in people's faces, people hanging out the window on top of pubs and top of lampposts. It was a mad day. I think we had a player sponsors morning or something. It just happened to be that day. So we had to do that first and then bust up to the chambers, and then I can't remember what we'd done the night. I think we went out after the night of the cup final.
You must have done.
It was mad. I remember we went to like George Street, so we couldn't get in anywhere because none was booked. We ended up sharing a room with like, it was like a private schools rugby team function or something.
Who are you guys?
It was a strange kind of night, but we made the most of it.
How did the two compare? You're saying one, you're at 19 years old.
It was different. I felt more part of the team obviously this time. I felt a bit young, and I was still kind of training with the youth team and that as well when I was in the League Cup. So you probably never feel like a first team player, but you know, these were like playing football with your mates, this squad. So it felt totally different. I think just the way the league had gone, the season had gone, we knew we had a really good team, but we worked closer together with all the things that were going on, and I'll remember that team for the rest of my life.
You've come a long way since you first started kicking a ball around this park. 3 kids now. How special was that experience for you to raise a family in this area as well?
It was nice. Lewy was actually born in Edinburgh, but the other 2 kind of lived in Dunfermline. But now we still come back, visit grandparents. Mum and Dad still live up the road, and Julia's mum just lives not too far from here, so it was nice. I just feel for what I started at Hibs to now I've got a family of 3 kids and a wife as well, so it's mad how quick things go.
And I see Lou's a wee bit of a player as well.
He's alright. He loves it as well. He kind of non-stop football, so I know what it was like at his age, and I'm kind of doing the sacrifices and the driving about now that Mum and Dad used to do, so I appreciate it a lot more now. Don't know if he does, like.
Looking back on it all then, coming up to 600 appearances, the only player at Hibs ever to win the Scottish Cup, the League Cup, the record league appearance holders. Could you ever envisage being this successful when you first started out playing?
Nah. I never was one for milestones or anything, and it's probably just the closer you get to finishing that it kind of all hits home. So, look, I've done well to get close to 600. I would love to try and get to 600. Still a few games left, so we'll see what happens. But look, when I've finally hanged the boots up and look back at my Hibs career, I have a lot of fond memories, and I've done pretty well in the end, to be fair.
How much does this club mean to you?
It means everything. I'll be honest that before I went to Hibs, I didn't know much about the club, and you said how much my life's changed. I owe basically more than half my life to Hibs, so it's been amazing. It's lived with me forever and forever be a massive part of my life.
Well, you've been an absolute Hibs legend. Everybody at the club loves you, the fans all love you, and you've been a top man. So thanks for taking us out.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Legend.
Cheers.
Touch. I know.